Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate.
Nothing is more handsome than safe driving. It's why anytime I'm out there on the road, I drive carefully and cautiously at all times.
The more safely you drive, the less you'll pay. Who doesn't want to pay a rate based on your own safe driving? You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in Alaska or California, subject to terms and conditions. Rates vary by state. In some states, participation in DriveWise allows Allstate to use your driving data for rating, and your rate could increase with high-risk driving.
Handsome, chatting with friends on the Handsome Pod. Chatting with friends on the Handsome Pod.
Cheers.
And welcome to the Handsome Pod. It's me, Mae Martin. I'm joined, as always, by my very handsome co-hosts,
Tig Notaro.
And Fortune Feimster.
This intensity that you said your name there, Tig.
You sure did, and you're staring into camera.
Oh, I am excited to be on film.
Yeah, here we are all together in the same room.
I'm feeling extra gay.
Why?
Today.
Flannel.
We're kind of pretty gay right now, right?
Still handsome.
I'm just wearing my normal clothes.
Well, I'm in flannel. You both kind of have the jean thing going on.
Well, and I was telling Mae, like, I don't want to embarrass you, but there are holes in
yeah.
your shirt, and we can see your body.
Isn't
That's
that
a
kind
fashion
of
thing, right?
Isn't that kind of a cool thing to do?
Yeah.
I
really
don't
into
think
it.
so.
I promise they are real holes from probably moths, and like it's a.
Do you promise those are from moths?
I promise it's from
You
moths.
didn't make those yourself.
I didn't make them myself.
I feel like the holes in clothes are cool right now.
Really?
Okay.
I mean, I don't have any.
But
holes
also,
in mine.
Mae, your hair's a little messed up.
Look,
Oh, wow.
I feel like maybe you need a propeller hat on.
I need to get it together. I've also undone my pants because.
Oh my God, Mae!
I
Well,
know.
put it away.
That's what our listeners want, though. The ones on YouTube right now.
Yeah, if you are just listening to the audio, switch over to YouTube right now. Mae's pants are undone.
I'm fully
No
nude.
shoes. Moths have eaten your shirt.
Yeah.
And hair is just tousled all around.
But the tousled hair is your thing.
I know. I'm just trying to create
like crazy frizzy curly hair is my thing.
I wouldn't say yours is crazy frizzy. It's a
pretty
beautiful. Speaking of moths, do you guys know the moth? Have you ever heard of the Mothman prophecies?
Oh, I thought you meant like the moth storytelling.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've done that. I've told a moth story.
The moth is a storytelling.
That's correct.
Okay,
You've
got
listened
you.
to it.
Yeah.
What's the Mothman?
Okay, the Mothman, and I'm gonna get all the deets wrong. Maybe Thomas can back me up, but it was this phenomenon where people were seeing
Mayfact.
They were seeing a large man/moth, like a Mothman hybrid, before big disasters would happen.
Oh.
So before a bridge collapsed, multiple people go, we saw multiple people go.
Multiple people.
They go,
You're
"We
a mess today,
a
Mae.
mess." But they're like, we saw this Mothman, and it went on for a few years. Mothman. And then Richard Gere was in a movie about it.
Really?
Yeah.
I never saw that.
What people saw
A
Mothman
Yeah.
before disasters happened.
So it was like,
This makes no sense.
I know. So the big question was he warning people about the disasters, or was he causing the disasters?
Therein lies the question.
And therein lies the rub.
See,
robe.
I'm not smart enough to have come up like
With the question?
or anything really, but to be like, oh, maybe he's causing this,
Yeah.
because I just immediately go to it's not true.
I
Right.
just assume the Mothman's just putting holes in people's clothing.
They'd be
Oh.
giant because he's man size.
Yeah. I have a couple of suits right now with some little moth bites, and I didn't realize I needed to store those suits
So you gotta
properly.
get mothballs though, right?
Yeah, I think
Wait,
so.
Why are moths going in
They like
closets?
suits. And
Yeah, why-
wool. They love wool.
But why is it always closets? Yeah, why aren't they just munching on like a towel?
Why don't they
Yeah.
go munch on something else?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, really,
Speaking of munchers, it's Pride Month.
Jesus.
Fortune.
Was that a weird transition?
I liked it. I liked it.
It's Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride to
Happy
our
Pride.
community out there.
Yeah, we dressed We dress for the season.
We actually
Just to
didn't plan
reiterate,
this.
I'm wearing my normal clothes. I don't know. You got flannel and
I got
denim.
and this really is just my normal clothes as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I look normal
We're
too.
all
That's
just
true.
being ourselves, which
Yeah.
is the beauty of Pride Month.
Yes.
And celebrating us being exactly who we are. And celebrating loving who we want. How about that, guys?
Do you think if we had a float at the parade, what would it be shaped like?
Ooh, what would it? Well, it would be us.
on
Pineapple?
a boob.
Like, are you talking about like a
On a
handsome
boob.
float?
All three of us
Boob
on a giant
would
boob.
be
yeah, just straddling a boob.
amazing.
Just trying to hold on.
There's no handles.
No, we
no
just
foot pegs.
splayed.
Yeah,
And
just,
we're cheersing each other.
and we're also holding on to each other
Yeah.
to stay on the
Yeah.
boob.
And they've covered the boob in Vaseline, so we're slipping and sliding all up.
They didn't. You did.
I did.
Yeah, May
We might have
did
to
it.
be on a pride parade float at some point. The
I would love
handsome-
that.
The handsome float. I hope they can make a boob.
Yeah, a paper mache? Is that like a giant paper mache
Why not?
boob?
Yeah.
I used to go in my hometown in Mississippi. They have like a local Mardi Gras parade,
Uh-huh.
and my family would have a float. And I just wonder,
A family float?
yeah,
What do you
Like-
mean? Did all families have their own float?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've not heard
Oh,
of this.
That's
really,
cool.
Yeah, family. I didn't know families just had a float. Like, here come the Smiths.
yeah,
I thought it would be like,
or whatever.
Like a
you-
business.
yeah.
Your family.
Family
Your
has a float.
family.
Here comes the family float.
This
what
is
are
my
you-
family.
But are you like advertising your family?
Yeah.
Or you're just floating around.
Really? But is
Yeah.
that typical of Mardi Gras that families
You can have a
floats?
business. You can have whatever. You just getting in. It's a small town.
Okay, it's a
Wow.
small town. Yeah, of
And
course.
so I just wonder how they would feel if I suggested my
Your family got on a boob.
yeah, my friend family got on a boob.
So were you like throwing beads?
Beads,
Beads
yeah.
and balloons and
Got it.
Now, at
Candy.
the family parade, do people show their boobies when you throw beads?
well, yeah. of
They do
course.
in Mississippi?
I mean, come on.
That's true. What else you got to do down there?
What else you gotta do?
We gotta see some boobs.
No, I think that's way more for New Orleans.
That's a New Orleans
Yeah.
thing. That's
Have you
more
gone
of
to
a-
Mardi Gras?
In New Orleans? No.
Have
I
you-
went to Sydney in Australia. Their Mardi Gras.
Uh-huh.
Does that count?
Nope.
I
That's
know.
cool. That's the biggest one in the world, right?
Yeah, that one's huge. I would like. I know Jennifer Coolidge. I know her, but not like
You
we
did-
hang out.
Get her on the pod.
I know, but I don't have her number. We'll figure out.
Okay.
We'll get her on the
I've
pod.
been to her house down there.
Well, that was what I was just
Oh.
about to say. She has a
Yeah.
or had. I don't. She's very busy now. She used to have a really cool Halloween party every Halloween.
Yeah.
And in New Orleans, and my friends have gone, and I was like, every time I see pictures, I'm like, I want to go to that party.
I can say if there's one ticket I want, it's Jennifer Coolidge's Halloween party
Right?
in New Orleans. And the fact that people are going to a different city just for a party.
Yeah, because she dresses up very extravagantly. Were you there at her house on Halloween or just in general?
No, I was there for a dinner, and I was invited to the Halloween party after that.
Okay.
And then I replied to the invitation. I think she told me 2 years later,
Oh, you
You
did?
replied 2 years later.
saying I couldn't make it.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Tig, we really miss you at the party.
But I
Hey,
also,
that was a good Jennifer Coolidge.
We really miss you at the party, Tig.
it is
That
interesting.
was good.
Tig, we missed you at the party.
really missed you at the party, Tig.
I don't think she missed me. But she did take me into her attic.
Oh,
and
okay.
it
Tig,
sound,
come in my attic.
yeah.
Tig, I got something to show you.
fun.
It'd be real fun. I got something to show you in my attic.
We do these impressions out of pure love
Yes.
for Jennifer Coolidge because she's the best.
Well,
What was
yeah,
in the attic?
like mannequins and wheelchairs and stuff. and
That is what should be in an attic in New Orleans.
Yeah.
I ran into her at a restaurant in New Orleans, probably a couple of years ago, and she brought that up.
You remember when you came in my attic? Remember I showed you the mannequins?
And the wheelchairs.
And were you like, yep, I remember that.
Yeah. So, but it is interesting to think about her living down there, and then she's blown up so much. Like since she got that house, and I think she was living a pretty quiet New Orleans life.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, as quiet as the New Orleans life is.
Right.
Quiet, but having massive parties and taking people up to her attic. And Parker Posey, I think, lives on like a farm somewhere, and she's about to be on White Lotus.
They're filming this new season, I think, in Thailand.
My favorite thing about that show, of course, is the cameos from Survivor contestants, because Mike White was on Survivor. He puts like...
He was on Survivor.
I forgot that.
He got to the final 3.
Oh, wow.
Wait, what do you mean?
He
they
was
had
a
celebrity
contestant.
edition, or that's the normal edition?
Normal edition. And
then how did he get on that?
He was a fan and he applied, and this is after School of Rock, which he wrote and was in, but it was before he was...
My kids have watched that 10 times.
Really?
Oh my God.
So good. Yeah, and he and he did very well in it. He was hilarious on it. And so in his shows, he'll sometimes put a cameo from like a very niche Survivor contestant from 15 years ago.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I think you should put Parvati on as like a sexy yoga teacher.
That's right. I would have loved to have gone because, it's my dream to, if I was on the lam, to hide in Thailand.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Washing elephants. Was that right? You want an elephant sanctuary.
Right. You want to go wash elephants.
Watch and eat pad thai in Thailand. So
no one will find you.
filming White Lotus at the same time would have been great.
Yeah. You're going to be there
top
anyway.
Secret. Where did Fortune go?
Well, the best part about that show for the actors is the last 2 seasons, they filmed at like very nice resorts, and they like stay there at the resort.
Yeah.
And then film there. But I think they do it like in the off season. So
do you take your kids to pride parades and stuff?
We were in Colorado, and this wasn't a pride parade, but it was just a little tiny mountain town parade that went by, and
it was just a bunch of lesbians and Subarus. They came off the mountain in their Subarus just to have a parade.
Well, it was funny because I see the parade going by, and we're coming out of a coffee shop, and I was like, a parade! And I start running, and in my head I'm thinking, oh, I must love a parade. I didn't realize. But there's something so...
nostalgic or something.
Well,
about,
so
like,
appealing about a small town parade.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, more so than like, the Macy's parade or whatever any of those big parades are.
Right.
It's like a small town parade with like a trailer and like the town drunk and like flags and
There is something really sweet. Like, it makes me proud of human beings that we're like, let's have a parade. And
I know.
It's just like we walk down the street like waving at each other.
Honking.
And the gays especially love a parade.
Yeah.
I didn't know I loved a parade until that little parade went by.
I
think also because I have kids. I was trying to get them to see the parade.
I kind of forget about it too, and then a lot of times I've been on tour during Pride Month, not really thinking about it being Pride Weekend at different places where I'm performing. And I'll like come out of the hotel, and then there's the parade, and I'm like, oh my God, it's Pride Weekend or whatever. And I'll start watching these floats go by, and I get a little emotional sometimes. Like, I'll be like, I love that, because it'll be in some of these random smaller cities where, you hear about the New York one and the LA, Chicago, San Francisco. They're just so big. Yeah. But then you see these smaller towns having these gay pride parades. Where the representation's smaller, and you probably are looking over your shoulder a bit more, and to see that coming through town, there is something very moving about that.
We're still in a time where there's like laws about don't say gay in classrooms, and like it's still so important that to have that visibility. I guess I just got really serious, but I think I've talked on the podcast about flying to like a rural pride parade. They paid me to fly to this tiny town, Sudbury.
I don't think you've talked about this.
Where they have they're famous because they have a giant nickel. They got a giant
Oh, yeah?
coin.
I don't think they're that famous.
You haven't heard about this?
No, I don't know if anyone's talking about
Anyone
it.
claims
You didn't
they're
even know the
famous.
name of the town.
Yeah, it's a big nickel.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate.
Nothing is more handsome than safe driving. It's why anytime I'm out there on the road, I drive carefully and cautiously at all times.
The more safely you drive, the less you'll pay. Who doesn't want to pay a rate based on your own safe driving? You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in Alaska or California, subject to terms and conditions. Rates vary by state. In some states, participation in DriveWise allows Allstate to use your driving data for rating, and your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Dear cat people, we know you're obsessed with your feline companions. Admit it. If we looked at your camera roll, it would be 90% pictures of your cat. You give them the best, but if you're honest, you struggle to keep their litter box clean. Well, have you heard of Litter Robot?
Yes, I have. In fact, I have one. And it has really turned this ship around. We got Kitty City at our house, 3 adorable cats, and the Litter Robot. Oh my gosh. It's so easy. These kitties go in there, they do their little business, they come out. This robot cleans things up and it's gone. That's it. It's gone.
As a special offer to listeners of the show, go to stopscooping.com/handsome and enter promo code handsome to save an extra $50 on any Litter Robot bundle. That's an extra $50 off any Litter Robot bundle at stopscooping.com/handsome and enter promo code handsome at checkout. Stopscooping.com/handsome and enter promo code handsome.
This is in the UK?
No, this is in Canada,
Oh,
and I
okay.
flew with my friend Alex. They brought us down, and it was like there's a BDSM
There we
tutorial in an Italian restaurant in the basement.
Oh.
There's all these families eating upstairs, being like, these ruffians. And then, then there was a foam party in like a coffee shop.
Foam?
Yeah, foam.
Where people are, is that like where people are wrestling in their
The
bathing
second episode in a row that we've talked about foam.
Not foam in your pants. But foam is like kind of like Jello wrestling, but with foam.
Oh, do you guys not know about foam parties?
No, what
No.
are foam parties?
Two
like-
against one.
You put essentially a giant paddling pool in like a club. So you're covering the floor with like plastic, and then you get a foam machine, and everyone's just dancing, and people are kind of in their
bathing
underwear.
suit? Oh,
yeah, bathing
underwear.
suit, or you just get wet,
Yeah,
and there's foam everywhere, and
Yeah.
it always starts off great, really fun, and then by the end there's just this gray water that you're splashing
Ooh,
around
no, pink eye.
in. Yeah.
Do you think Jax would get into that?
No,
Oh,
God, no.
Yeah.
I'm not even into that. I don't like being in my clothes and getting wet
Yeah.
because then it's just uncomfortable and I'm chafing.
Well,
Yeah, I'm
you
not-
would not have enjoyed what we watched over
did you-
spring break.
Was it a foam party?
No, they're like at the end of the ski season in Colorado, people are going down the mountain and everybody dressing up in a costume, and there is a huge pond of water, and then you ramp.
In the snow.
Oh.
Like you.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
15 degrees.
Okay.
And you just have your skis on, so you go down the mountain and then into the water, and you try and go across the pond on your skis.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
you ski down and then try and ski across the water.
Break my leg.
I'm
doing
on
that.
board. That's cool.
I don't know how to ski though.
Me neither.
What about, you don't ski or snowboard?
No.
I don't know how to do either.
Two against one.
You're
you
good
do?
at those?
I used to, and then I had an accident.
You gotta be
Classic tick.
classic
It
tick. You
seems
gotta-
dangerous.
Yeah.
It's so dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in Canada everyone does it, but my parents they were really permissive, but this was the one thing they were like, you're not allowed to ski.
Interesting.
Yeah, because they knew too many people that just hit a tree.
And that was it.
They knew
Really?
multiple people that hit
Multiple people that happened to?
Let's
knew
back up.
Couple of people, yeah, who just hit
A
trees.
couple of people. Wow.
Yeah,
That is crazy.
I
Did they
know.
live?
It doesn't sound
one of them.
like it.
I know one of them didn't, and then I know there were other. And I think my mom, when she was a kid, put skis on, and day one broke her ankle, and so she was like, "What is this sport?
Yeah,
Like,
what is this?
What is this?" I
Who
did
you-
go cross country skiing though.
But is that... Oh, well, that's just kind of like just sort of walk
Skiing cross country.
Skiing.
Ma'am.
Yes.
But this is like,
Did you just respond to Tig by going, ma'am, that was good.
ma'am, I need you to pipe down over there.
Yeah, cross country skiing is like speed walking. Like you
Yeah.
get real sweaty. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not like going down a hill, right?
It's supposed to, no, it's flat across. It's supposed to be like the best exercise you can get.
Yeah.
Sounds
Calming.
a lot of work, and you're cold. I don't like being cold either.
No, me neither, really.
Yeah.
I thought you said last episode you like being cold.
I prefer it to being hot,
Uh-huh.
but I don't like. I want to be a normal temperature.
You would
normal
prefer
temp.
it to
Sue
be
me.
cold? You'd prefer to be freezing over sweltering.
Okay,
I'd rather be hot.
I want to keep my house cold. I want to sleep under a big duvet. I want to be ideally wearing a sweater.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Sexy.
Oh, I know what you
Sexy
mean.
Sweater.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, sweater under the blanket,
Yeah.
maybe a little turtleneck,
Yes.
wool
sweater on
socks,
over there. Look at you, just looking real sexy.
What is
in that
happening?
sweater.
maybe a scarf.
Why did a sweater
Oh.
become sexy?
Oh my
This is the-
god, that
You make
sweater
everything
is so
sexy.
Oh, Jennifer Coolidge is back.
No, this is like a hybrid.
Oh, yeah.
Of what?
I don't know.
You know, I find most things like sexy or attractive, and the one thing I don't love is turtlenecks on people. It's a big turnoff for me.
Yeah.
I like a turtleneck.
Do
I
you?
like to see the neck.
Yeah.
I like to see
I
the
would.
neck.
I don't think about it, so I can't say two against one for either.
Why
of
don't you spend some time and think
I
about
Yeah.
it?
don't think
Take
about
a
how I
minute now.
feel about it.
Picture Jax in a turtleneck. How do you feel?
She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
She's gorgeous in anything.
Oh, that's true. I think I just.
I don't think she's ever worn a turtle. No, wait.
Turtleneck.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it makes me
So what
feel
would you
itchy.
do if Parvati showed up in a turtleneck? Would you cry? Because I know your
Get thee
ex-girlfriend
behind
showed up
me.
with red hair.
And I
and-
burst into tears.
yeah.
No, I would probably over compliment it because I'd be trying to hide the fact that I.
Oh, I really
Felt-
love that.
It makes me feel itchy and hot to even look at it, and I think I'd be like, oh, "Where'd you get that? Oh, I love it." and then
Where'd
I'd,
you get that?
And then I'd set some moths on it when she wasn't looking.
Yeah, there you go. You can never get the moths when you want the moths.
I know.
They only come when you don't want them there.
So frustrating.
Oh, so
You
frustrating.
make a good point.
Thank you, Tig.
Where are the moths when you need them?
Come on. I am curious, in past Pride months, do y'all, like, I guess, like, in your single days, do you feel like you were more active during Pride month?
I used to work at a coffee shop in West Hollywood
Yeah.
called Little Frida's.
Okay.
Pretty little Fridas.
And it was like, I mean, it's kind of a very famous, people call it a lesbian coffee shop, but the owner was like, it wasn't a lesbian, it was a coffee shop. There were a lot of lesbians there.
Yeah.
But, so it was a lesbian coffee shop. And it was right there on Santa Monica Boulevard.
Uh-huh.
And I took that job because they had a comedy show there.
Oh,
and that's
really?
where I
No
fir-
way. And you were like, I want to get close to that.
Well, that was the first place I did stand up.
Wow.
And
Oh,
so I
funny.
thought, oh, well, I'll work, once or twice a week so I can for sure,
Look
if
at
somebody
that.
drops out, I can get up on stage.
Yeah.
I
you
like
know.
that. That's got a very Bob Dylan energy of like, just, I'll just hang out and jump up and blow everyone away. And
You're
then I'll be
making a
like,
latte, and you're like, oh, you have a spot open? Well, I'm available.
I happen to know a few jokes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was there on Santa Monica Boulevard, and the parade would go by. And so I think no, I haven't been very active in the gay pride parades, but
Or no, just the weekend. Sometimes there's like festivities.
I
Or
would-
in
I
the
used
month,
to-
there's different pride events.
I feel like I'm always the person that leaves my house and is like, what is all of this traffic? And then it's like
There's a rainbow flags everywhere.
it's like gay pride. I'm like, oh my God, it's gay pride.
Yeah.
Or it's the marathon or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
I don't drive too much.
Mm-hmm.
And
every time you do, there's a
every
parade.
time I do, there's
Yeah.
a parade.
I used to all through my 20s in Toronto. The parade's massive,
Yeah.
and you get the prime minister usually comes, and Trudeau these days he's right at the front of the parade, and
then you have a relationship with him.
Me and Trudeau.
Yeah.
Well, we had a moment.
Yeah.
I told him his legacy would be great. I really regret it because he's really done some bad stuff too. But I used to go all through my 20s, and then like all weekend it would be wild and fun dance parties, and then one time my friend Gabby, who's ostensibly straight, and she would always come and support, and she was just like the best. And like cared deeply, and she'd come to the Dyke March always. And she had this sign one year that said, "An army of lovers will never be defeated." And for some reason she was just like invisible to all my lesbian friends at the time. They were so cliquey, and they'd be like, "Who are you again?" And she'd be like, "I meet you every year at the Dyke March. I come and support. I'm Gabby. I'm your and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, that girl." And then one time we were leaving the parade, and she got mugged, and she was like, she thought that these two people were finally being real nice to her.
Oh no!
They got on either side of her and kind of sandwiched her, and she was like, "Woo!" And
they mugged her at the parade.
They took her wallet, they took everything, and she was just holding this sign about the army of lovers. She had glitter on, and she was just like,
"Wow!"
Were these gay people that robbed her?
I think so.
Oh, that's God. Well, this is
like
a
gay
terrible.
on gay
Sorry.
crime.
Yeah.
I just, to go back to the small town parade. I know we're trying to stay on track here, but I'm not. I don't like big crowds.
Yeah, me too.
Right.
I like I like a weird trailer wobbling down the road with
a little more
a
low
dog.
key.
I like that.
And,
I don't like not knowing where the nearest bathroom is where I can wash my face.
Well, okay.
Yeah, I just remember being so blown away by like moving to LA, and I wasn't out yet when I first moved here, and
Totally kept it under wraps.
well, no one knew.
Yeah.
And I was at home, and that's when they used. I don't know if they still do. The local channel had the Pride Parade on, and I was like, "Oh, what is this about?" Because that was.
Did you know you were gay?
No, it was like bubbling up. I think like where I was like, And I went down there, and it was so overwhelming because once you're in the world, you're just like, oh yeah, it's a Pride Parade. But if you're not in the world, you're new to it. It's so overwhelming, and so
even if you've been in the world, it's overwhelming.
It is.
And I like walked towards it, and I immediately. I was like, no, I can't. I walked right back to my car.
Because it was overwhelming, or because of the gay stuff?
Well, I was by myself again.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I was back in town from Miami.
It's easier when you have a friend with you, 'cause you're just like chatting with your friend, like
on the Handsome Pod.
Yeah.
And but alone, I was like, I can't. Dude, I'm not ready for this.
Yeah.
But
then once I came out, I was.
How soon after that did you come out?
It took me another 2 years.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then
did you make a couple of trips down to peek at the parade again?
No, and I didn't go to another parade until I played in the gay games. It's like the Olympics. I know it sounds made up. It's
you hadn't come out yet.
I know I had.
I was now
out.
You're like
playing softball, and
I've played softball with you. I think.
Yeah, probably with Paige and all those folks. Yeah. But I was in a league, and we would travel around the country playing softball in this lesbian softball league. And my team decided to play in the gay games, which is like the Olympics, but for gay people. And we played in Chicago, and there was it was
like the Olympics are pretty gay.
Yeah, true.
But
I just it was the first time I was like, they have these massive events and gatherings, and I was like a kid in a candy store then. I was like, oh my God, I love parades. I love this is the greatest.
Also, can you imagine like before the internet and stuff, like where now young people can find their community so easily, but before that you got to go to the parade and be like,
you had to go to gay bars.
Yeah,
it was the one place you could meet people. It's hard to meet people.
Yeah,
I used to go to coffee shops to meet people.
Yeah, I just didn't meet people for a while.
Yeah, well, you're in Miami.
But then on the flip side of that, it was jarring to see that first, be at that first parade and see that section of people with all the hateful signs telling everyone they're going to hell.
Yeah.
I really,
See you there.
I remember just being like so taken back by that, because the parade was such a beautiful day of like love and celebration and fun, and then you keep walking and all of a sudden it's like, you're going to hell, all these people screaming things.
Crazy.
And, that was
Also,
jarring.
let's say you are going to hell. Why?
It turns out Tig's super religious.
But I'm just saying, like, okay, so we're all going to hell. Why are you yelling at us?
Yeah. Isn't it enough that we're
leave
already...
us be.
Yeah, it's like, or have some sympathy. Like, we're going to hell.
Yeah.
You know?
Let us enjoy life on earth.
Yeah, why would you ever
That's hilarious.
yell and scream at people, you're going to hell?
I've never even thought about it like that.
I haven't either until
Say we are going to hell.
I'm
Say
like,
we are.
okay,
Can
so
we not enjoy our journey?
yeah, or like maybe be compassionate because oh my
Yeah.
God, we're going to hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're usually spouting some Bible verse while they're telling us
Yeah.
that. So where is the compassion?
Yeah.
I always, because I've kind of always been, like, I've never really, I've kind of always been out. Like, I always think about when I date someone who's, it's new for them. And especially like Parv is, you know, this is also new. It must be so weird to suddenly at a later stage in your life be like, oh, there's like, countries in the world where I'd go to jail for like, I think to have that cognitive shift of like suddenly being
Or
in
be killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suddenly be like in a minority group having never been. That's
Right,
kind of
right.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Kind of interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, not fully interesting, but kind of.
Kind of.
But you know, honestly, I mean, I've thought about it. Like, I feel like I have never been happier than when I came out and post that.
Yeah.
Like, my life is the best version of itself once I realized who I was.
Yeah, same.
And came out. And if someone asked me right now, if you truly could choose to be gay or not, what would you choose? And if it was a choice, which it is not, for me, I'd
go to hell.
choose
I'd
to
go
be
straight
gay.
to hell.
I would choose to
Yeah.
be gay 1,000 times over.
It's better.
For me, I mean,
yeah.
but that's, you know,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, it's been.
How do you know if it's better 1,000 times over? You
Because
haven't
I
even,
tried to be straight.
but you haven't even touched a straight body part.
I touched one wiener.
You told us you had
No,
never touched.
No.
This I can back up. Fortune has
Yeah.
touched one
I
wiener.
heard, thank you, May. May was
Oh,
there.
right.
I was there.
I talked about it in the stand-up in my half-hour special.
Right, I forgot.
I touched one wiener, and I my point to it was I wish I hadn't said I had touched one wiener, because then it was easy for people in my hometown
To figure out whose wiener it was.
Yeah, one wiener. I gave a bad handy J. I don't even know if you could call it a
Well,
handy
what
J.
you just
I don't
did
think
with your
anyone-
hands.
Fortune
crab
just
clawing
made
right
crab
now.
claws.
It definitely wasn't a full handy.
Can you keep doing
It
that?
was but I'm doing this because it really was more of this, like a Play-Doh situation. Like
How many times has Fortune turned the microphone
into a wiener. This is a flute.
Not enough times.
My joke was I grabbed it like a hot clarinet because I didn't want to touch it for too long.
Well,
So
sure.
I grabbed it like this.
You were
like a
boy
hot
crazy.
clarinet.
Yeah.
I would also choose it as well because I feel like grateful to have any kind of outsider perspective in the world, because it just makes you a little bit more open-minded and curious maybe about other things, and any type of outsiderness I think it is ultimately like it's like it makes you, then you start pulling the thread of like, well, what else isn't true that I've been told is
Yeah.
like
I just
anyway
think the gays
anyway
have a-
wieners and
I mean, I just think
Anyway,
I just
Fortune
think
and her
Fortune-
wieners.
I just
Wieners.
think gays have a lot of fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's that song, "Girls Just Want to Have Fun." Well, guess what? Gays
Oh,
also
that's good.
just want to have
Fortune,
fun.
that is good.
oh wait, that's good. Thomas,
If we are going to
Put
hell,
another
we're
one.
going to enjoy
Thomas,
the
yeah.
journey.
Write that down.
Gays, they want to have fun.
speaking of gay guys, our guests today
Are not.
are not. No, I'm so excited to have a question from Muna, the band, who have really mobilized a young queer sort of a fan base like no other.
Amazing.
They were opening for Taylor Swift on tour for a while. They're
That's cool.
very fun and cool people.
They're so good.
Yes. Today's question comes from the explosively wonderful pop trio Muna. You know him, you love him. I'm pumped to have a question from them. You got Katie, Josette, and Naomi. They opened for Taylor Swift on the Eras tour. They have a bunch of hit songs, including Silk Chiffon with the Phoebe Bridgers music video. They also have a very funny podcast called Gayotic. Muna is asking our question today.
Boom.
Boom.
Muna.
Muna.
Hello,
Hi, Handsome Podcast. I'm Katie.
I'm Naomi.
I'm Josette.
Together we are the band Muna, world famous for not only our music but also our podcast.
Chaotic.
Indeed. And we have a question for you today. We talk about this a lot on our pod, and we're very curious to hear about any early memories that you guys have where you got the first inclination that you might be a little funny.
You might be a little funny.
As in a little bit gay.
And
not the other way that you're funny. Funny as in strange.
And it can be something that maybe induced a familiar feeling such as shame, or it could be something that was like fun and exciting. It can be something with a friend or something with a character on TV. Really, sky's the limit. Just talk about being gay and young.
If I don't stop the video, my arm's gonna fall off. I've been shaking the whole time. So goodbye. We love you guys. Enjoy answering our riveting inquiries.
Oh.
The first thing that popped into my mind was like I used to play tons of like imaginative games with my friends, and and I was usually Han Solo or something, and
Of course.
and then in
to.
grade 1, and I was little and I was like a year younger in grade. I was like 5 maybe, or just turned 6, and me and my friend Karen were playing this Pippi Longstocking game under a table on lunch or something, and I was tiny, and she was playing Pippi Longstocking. I was playing like some cool boy, and I kissed her hand. Like it was like a romantic scene we were doing, kind of. I kissed her hand, and someone saw it, someone in our class, and I went to an all-girls school, and they were like, "May kiss Karen, ew," and they like dragged us to the teacher and were like, "May kiss Karen." Like, what the hell?
Oh my god.
Yeah, and Mrs. Reiki, God bless her soul, was like, "What is wrong with this class? Like, get a life. Let May kiss Karen's hand."
Prudes.
Yeah,
she said that.
But it was definitely like, it cognitively was like a shift,
like a shame feeling.
Yes, of like, I don't. Maybe that.
Yeah.
And then a sex dream about Hocus Pocus, which I saw in the movie theaters. I've talked about it before. I saw it like 6 times maybe in the theaters. Like I was obsessed, and then I was a perv for it. I used to be like, I hope I have that dream.
But which part of it made you horny?
It was
Fortune.
I mean, I'm curious because
it was all 3 of the witches, and the way they're stealing the soul of they're all surrounding this. I mean, it's fucked up. Like it wasn't a consciously horny thing.
Right.
I was just a kid, and I was like, I want them to kidnap me and steal my soul. And in the dream, I was naked, and in the I was like 6, but I was like, I remember telling my parents, I had this dream, I hope I have it again. I was naked, and these witches were eating my butt like it was like
my ass.
No, but like it was a meatloaf, like cutting slices off it.
Oh,
and I was like, I kind of liked that dream.
What is happening? I don't even know.
I can't stop laughing. You're 6 years old telling your parents, I was naked in a dream with these witches eating my ass.
I would be mortified if my kid was telling me this.
My ears have just gone so red. Why are you guys shaming me?
It's the most amazing story I've ever heard.
We are.
No, I'm not shaming. I think it's so visually funny. It's
a horny movie.
Because you're very earnestly being like, Mom, Dad, I had this dream where I was naked, and I was like, stole my soul, and they ate my ass.
And I was like, we have to go back to the cinema so I can see it again in theaters. And so I think they took me multiple times, and they would just wait in the lobby. I'd go in by myself and watch it. Because Sarah Jessica Parker rides this broomstick. She sings this sexy song. And then Bette Midler, come on. Powerful, funny. All three of them hilarious.
I'll have to watch this movie. See if
I don't know if we're going to have the same reaction.
You're not, because you're adults, and it's not a horny movie, really. It's a children's movie.
But I love that your parents were like, we really want you to have this dream again, too. So let's go to the movies.
Yeah, I guess.
Wow.
You've never seen Hocus Pocus?
There's got to be people out there who've had this same fantasy as you.
Let's be clear. This was not a fantasy.
What are you talking
about?
This
Hocus Pocus fantasy.
Of a meatloaf ass that gets sliced?
You never know.
It's such a hacky dream.
Whoever's listening right now who had this same Hocus Pocus dream, please respond on the Handsome Pod
Right
socials.
in.
I thought it was original.
Well, maybe it is. Well, we might come up empty, but I'd like to know.
I just, What about you guys? Anyways.
Same.
Yeah. Pretty similar story to that one. Because I guess they're talking about like little, like, I mean, the first time I was like, whoa, what is this? I had a sleepover with a friend who was newer to town, and we had gone to like my brother's baseball game or something, and a bunch of us were rolling down the hill.
Yeah.
And I know. And so like
you're like, I'll catch you.
we roll together. And so later that night, she's like, did you see how, so and so, I don't remember what boy it was, Kyle was rolling down the hill trying to roll with me, and I was like, yeah, I saw that. It was crazy. But like, how did it go? And
how did it go?
She was like, he got on top of me and like rolled. I was like, oh really? Like how? And she got on top of me to do a roll.
Fortune.
And it was kind of my first like sort of dry hump.
Oh my God.
I was like,
oh my God. But you probably didn't even really know.
Yeah.
You were just like, I like that.
Like 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, and so how did it go again? And then it like rolled around for a little bit.
Oh my God.
And then she's like, okay, that's enough.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I'm sick of this too.
Yeah, we're good now, right?
I think we both have a clear understanding of what you and Kyle did.
Do you ever remember being a kid and playing some game that's like slightly horny with a friend, and then like your parents or someone's like dinner, and you're like, oh God, and you kind of know you're like, oh, anyway, and then you're eating dinner, so embarrassed, but you're like, gotta get back to our game now.
Yeah, I did kiss a boy behind my treehouse once.
You did?
Because I was watching all these movies, and that's how I said, this is how they do in the movies.
They kiss behind a treehouse.
Yeah, and I was like, blah, blah, and we were like, blah, 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 blah,
oh my
blah,
God.
blah,
How old
blah,
were
blah.
you?
That was like maybe 6, so I hadn't discovered the dry humping yet.
And then
blah, 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 blah. It wasn't great.
It doesn't look great.
No, he was like, what is happening? I was like, this is what they do in the movies. Clearly I had some pent up frustration. I needed to watch Hocus Pocus.
Yeah. That's when you knew you were gay? Was when you were kissing behind the treehouse?
Well, I didn't enjoy it. I liked the rolling with the girl a lot better than the kissing with the boy.
Yeah.
Rolling with the girl.
Rolling with the girl. But I didn't have any shame around the rolling with the girl.
That's good.
Because no one else was there.
Yeah.
And I think it sounds weird now in a world where there's technology and YouTube and shows where you're like, there's so much more representation. Mm-hmm. But back then it was so few and far between. I really didn't understand what gay was for a very long time, like longer than what seems normal now.
I feel
like
lucky.
How long?
Yeah.
I mean, I knew what gay was-ish in high school, but I didn't know any gay people. Wow. There was not one out person in my hometown.
Yeah.
No out person in my high school.
Are there now?
Oh yeah, for sure. The one person I assumed was probably gay, because I knew what it was at that point, was married in a heterosexual relationship. So I had this connotation of like, I'm pretty sure he's this.
Yeah.
But he's in this, so that thing over here must be bad.
Yeah, yeah.
And even in college, I really didn't know many gay people.
the best thing my parents did, and I mean, maybe I was too young for it, but I'm really grateful anyway, was they showed me the Rocky Horror Picture Show when I was like 5, because my grandfather was in it and stuff, and seeing them like celebrated, and Frankenfurter, and they were like, Frankenfurter's the coolest character, and I was like, oh, my parents are like, and there's all this spectrum of people out there, and this is the coolest movie ever, and it just made me know that there were options, and I didn't have to be ashamed with my parents.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. What about you? Take early gay moments.
Early gay moments. I remember in 6th grade, there was this friend that came over after school, and we were we were playing on a dirt pile.
It always in the South. It always starts in the grass or the dirt.
Oh my God! What do you mean a dirt pile?
I don't know. There's just
pile
like
of dirt.
Yeah, pile of dirt. Nothing else to do.
Also, I'm picturing this in your house, in your bedroom, a giant pile of dirt. But no, you're outside. Okay.
No, we were outside, and I remember she tried to kiss me.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So she was picking up vibes.
Yeah, and I was stunned.
Like, we're on a dirt pile, ma'am.
Yeah, what a dirt bag.
And were you like, yeah, how'd you respond?
I was just thrown off. And I think because I didn't respond to it, we just kind of acted like that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But I was like, what the hell just happened?
Right, yeah.
Why did my friend just try and kiss me?
Yeah. That is jarring.
Yeah. It was, I didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
But also, like, during, I guess even though I guess she's not gay, I think she's actually maybe conservative or Christian or something, but what's her name from, she felt like representation at the time, even though I didn't know I was gay.
Who?
From Facts of Life.
Oh, yeah.
Jo was her name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of lesbians of that era were really into her.
Yeah. And like Christy McNichol.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of that.
Yeah.
There's a few actresses who are straight, I think, but are unanimously loved by, like Mariska Hargitay from Law and Order SVU.
And
Sarah Michelle Gellar, wasn't she a big, or no, Xena. People were obsessed with, lesbians were obsessed with Xena.
I worked for her.
There were queer overtures in that show. Like they were.
I never watched.
By the end of the series, they were like, "Oh, they're in love."
You watched Xena?
Of course.
Huh.
You worked for Lucy Lawless?
Yeah, she's a friend.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. I didn't know how much till this moment, how much she means to me.
I didn't know. Yeah.
It was like you in the parade.
Witnessed this in real time.
Why haven't we got...
She was at my wedding in Mississippi.
Can we get Lucy Lawless
That's
on the...
easy. Like
I'm
that.
a big fan.
Okay.
You didn't even
we
know
could
how
go
big of
visit
a
her in
fan
New
you were.
Zealand.
Wow.
We could go stay with her in New Zealand.
Oh my gosh, she was in New Zealand, of course.
I just thought that. I was like, lesbians were into Xena. You're like, yeah, she was pretty popular with community. What?
There was something like...
know her?
Yeah, I don't know. Something happened there.
Yeah.
Like I knew the show exists, and I knew and I watched it pretty religiously, and then to suddenly know there was a potential direct line to Lucy Lawless, I was electrified there.
Yeah, that was my job when I first moved to LA.
so
Like her assistant?
No, I worked at the production company. Her husband is producing partners with the director Sam Raimi.
Oh, no way. Okay.
And so they produced, Sam and Rob produced Xena and Hercules and all these shows.
Young Hercules, Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Ryan, I'll have you know.
Don't be on a first name basis with Ryan.
No, listen.
Okay.
Ryan, no.
Okay.
But
he's a cutie patootie.
That would be a big bomb to drop if you're best friends with him.
no, but listen to this insanity.
Yeah.
While I worked at this company, Ryan was on Young Hercules.
Yeah.
And then the production company produced that show. And he filmed that in New Zealand. And one day I was going home to my studio apartment, the first place I lived in Los Angeles. And Ryan is, pushing the code to go into the building.
No way.
And I said, "Hey, Ryan." And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Hey, I'm Tig. I work at Renaissance Pictures." And he was like, "Oh, no way." And I said, "What are you doing here?" because I would talk to and deal with these actors. This is
Who are
like
in New Zealand, yeah.
Who were in
Yeah.
New Zealand, but I was in LA.
Yeah.
And I was like, I work at Renaissance Pictures, and I said, what are you doing here? And he said, oh, my mom lives here, and when I'm home, I crash with my mom.
Oh, no way.
And it was just this old apartment building, studio apartments. Maybe there were some one bedrooms, I don't know. But Ryan Gosling's mother lived in my building.
That's such a good LA story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to get him on too.
That might be a little harder for me. But I can get Lucy Lawless.
Please get Lucy Lawless.
Immediately, I can get Lucy.
She's
my
from New
God.
Zealand, right?
She did my Don't Ask Tig.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's from New Zealand?
Yeah, she's from Auckland.
No.
Do you remember a show called Nikita?
Nikita Femme.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Cherchez la femme dans la nuit.
I never watched it, but
It was big in Canada. They filmed it in
Yeah.
Canada. It was this Australian woman called Peta Wilson.
Peta.
That's a niche early crush. There was a
Yeah.
scene. I have a fetish because of one scene on that show. I think that I thought it was because of
One of many fetishes.
One of many. One of many. First, there's old Meatloaf ass with the witches.
Of course.
Meatloaf ass.
Yeah. And then there's, I think it was Nikita, where she's interrogating some guy. He's like, and then so she gives him water, and she's like telling him a secret because she's pretending she's a bad guy, but really she's good. And so she's like, I'm pretending I'm being mean to you, but then she gives him water and pours it into his mouth, and now I have this thing. I want people to pour water into my mouth.
Wow. All right.
Good
I want
to
like
know.
a
Stay
hand
hydrated.
on the back of the head and just give me water. I don't know. During sex, ideally, like you pause.
Oh.
You need hydration.
Your head tilted back.
Yeah. I've told everyone I've ever dated this. No
one's done it.
can do it without spilling it all over me, laughing.
Like,
no one can confidently.
They're like waterboarding you all of a sudden.
Yes,
You're like,
like-
this is not
So
sexy.
Parvati's tried.
She's tried many times.
and
Many
the water
times.
just goes everywhere.
She's working on it. It's
Okay.
just, it goes everywhere.
Do you pour it into her mouth or?
She's not into it.
She-
She'd be like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Okay.
Just pass me the bottle of water.
Was Buffy the Vampire Slayer big with the lesbians?
Yes. Yeah. Because that had openly queer, like
Oh, really?
Willow was
I never
gay.
watched that one either.
That was a big deal.
Yeah.
And Dawson's Creek had the first gay kiss, I think.
Oh, was that Busy Phillips' character and Michelle Williams?
No, it was this character Jack.
Oh, it was guys?
Guys.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
That was the first gay kiss on TV.
I think so. On
Really?
Dawson's Creek. Yeah.
Gosh, that seems.
Can we check that, Thomas?
We don't know about this May fact.
Yeah.
No, we really
I'm trying
don't.
to think if there was any TV shows where I was like, auga.
Maura Tierney on ER. Auga.
On ER? Yeah,
Yeah.
she was a good one.
And on News Radio, Maura Tierney.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Gosh, who was I into?
We know Tig's into Carrie Russell because of a bus.
I know.
Of her photo on a bus.
Yeah, but I already knew I was gay when I saw her go by on a bus.
Yeah.
And this was like, what is her most recent? The Americans?
Uh-huh.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you already
So-
had a wife.
Yeah, I was like,
kids.
like I said, I was
Heavily
with
involved.
Stephanie.
Yeah.
We were driving down the road, and I was like, "Whoa, who is that?"
She's like Carrie Russell.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
So
Yeah, I was too. I didn't have enough like brush-ins with ladies when I was young. I would have liked more.
Yeah.
I was too afraid, I think, of just like them thinking I was being
what you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like wouldn't even play the I really wanted to play the snare drum in the band. I don't know if I've said this before,
No.
but I that was when I first started to be like
Shame.
I wasn't thinking of gay and straight, but more like masculine, feminine kind of thing.
Right.
And
Why do I want to play a snare
and I was
drum?
like, I really want to play the snare drum, but I was like, but that's kind of like that's what boys do.
Oh my God.
And,
it starts so
and
young.
people will like look at me like I'll be a weirdo.
Yeah.
So I chose the trumpet instead. Like, what is?
I thought you were gonna
Trumpet.
say you were gonna play a hot flute.
No, but all the
Isn't that
girly
what
girls
you,
were playing the flutes and the clarinets.
Of course.
I played the dorky trumpet. It would have been much cooler to
Why
play
not
the
the
drum.
tuba?
No, that would not have been good.
I think the trumpet's pretty cool.
But yeah, that was when I started sort of really thinking in terms of like masculine and feminine and what you're supposed to be and what you're
Yes.
not supposed to be. And
Oh, it sucks so
Um,
much.
and just always feeling sort of out of place.
And like everyone else seems to be born with this knowledge of like what lip gloss to buy and like how to do it, and you're like faking it a little. And
I remember when I was younger, and I would, when my friends started, I don't know, clearly dressing up for guys and wearing makeup and stuff. And I remember looking at them and thinking, okay, they have tennis shoes on, I've got tennis shoes on. They've got jeans on, I've got jeans on. They have a t-shirt on, I've got a t-shirt on.
Yeah.
But we are so different.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't figure out what was going on.
Yeah, but it was such a mystery, right?
Yeah, it was.
Now, if you look at someone now, you're like, oh, duh. But like at that age, you're just like, there really was like, what is going on? How are we so different?
Yeah.
What is so different about me? Why do I not feel like I am like any of you?
But then I also felt that after coming out, like in the lesbian community, and everyone being like, you're one of us, and like being bi and being like, I know I read, and then also being like, I don't feel like a girl even, so like I don't, and yeah, so feeling out of place even in the gay community. It took me to 35 to now I feel like I know my niche, and I feel comfortable, and I don't feel like I'm walking around with like a rock in my shoe. That's like the feeling where you're like, I think something's in my shoe, but I don't know.
I'll just push on.
Just bravely push on, soldier on, and try to like adjust my gait in a way that,
I tried to be a girly girl one time in 10th grade.
Do you have pictures?
I don't think I took a picture, but I went to the mall, and I bought like a girl pair of jeans, and I bought one of those sleeveless button-up shirts, and a hair, like a, what do you call those that puts your hair back?
A clip.
A clip. A hair clip. And and like sandals, and that was the big, I'm from a small southern town, so the Friday night,
touch a wiener.
So the Friday night football game's the big event in the fall,
of course.
And so I got all dolled up in my button-up sleeveless shirt and put my hair. I slicked my hair back, so no curls. I slicked it back.
That's what the boys want to see.
This is what the boys
They want a slick back hairdo with a clip.
I clipped that thing, and I
touched my wiener.
Big old earrings in, and I put on the lip gloss, and I went to the football game. And no one talked to me. Not one boy talked to me. And I was like, well,
oh my God,
this didn't work. And that was that.
Oh my God. And then how'd you end up getting a wiener in your hands?
Oh, that was just,
not even putting a thought or care into your look.
That was just like,
and just flew into your hand.
Hanging out, and the southern wiener was in my hand.
I feel like the girls in my girls' school, like before puberty and stuff, like they thought of me as a boy even before I did, because when they all started wearing makeup, and it's a girls' school, and then so I put on makeup, and they're all like, oh my God, Mae's wearing makeup, and I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, no, I'm not, and then they were, but you know what I mean? I was like, I can't win here.
I remember when I went to a new school when I was in 4th grade, and we lived in New Jersey for a couple of years, and in 4th grade went to the new school, and there was this girl named Jean, and everybody was telling me that Jean had a crush on me.
Whoa.
And I was like, she thought I was a boy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I had to come out
as a girl.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Like she felt the crush.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And then when she found out, she's like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, later.
Just shut that feeling away.
Later.
I must have been mistaken by that feeling. Should we hear what the Muna trio has to say?
Yes.
Hi, handsome. It's Muna. We didn't realize that we had to also answer this question, or else, frankly, we wouldn't have asked it. But I don't know. I can't. Will you talk first so I can remember mine?
That's awesome. That I get to talk first because I knew what I was gonna say, and it was this. The first time, the gay shame thing. I didn't feel shame until like I was a bit older. But the first time I was kind of like, was like I had a crush on my kindergarten teacher, and then I was like, why am I mad that she has a boyfriend? And then I was like,
That
oh
was me in
no,
7th grade.
that might be kind of weird. And then I kind of just forgot about it for like several years. But then the shame came in much later. Sorry, I'm chewing on a mint. This is like,
You're good. You're okay.
You did good.
Yeah.
no, it's fine.
The first time
You look cool.
I used to think a lot about statistics, about how statistically someone in my class was going to be gay. Little did I know, statistically the chance was me, because I was
That's
just ashamed
hilarious.
that, I look so awesome.
But who was your first gay crush? Like, that you saw in the movies or something?
I mean, I was madly in love with Kirsten Dunst, so I always say this.
Who wasn't?
Who wasn't? Yeah.
Who wasn't?
All right, go, Katie.
I've told the story before on the podcast, but I feel like mine was specifically like with shame. I don't want to say this. I was watching a movie called Get Over It, which actually has Kirsten Dunst, and there's a scene where there's kind of this like Rube Goldberg of like accidents in a restaurant, and a girl's dress gets pulled down. Make my VCR run in slow motion so that I could see the boobies, and I was alone in my house, and I felt
Sexual.
and I was and I was afraid, I would say.
This question's awesome.
Gay and
Yeah,
afraid.
I'm glad
I was
we
gay
picked this
and
one.
I was afraid. So now that we've been so vulnerable, I expect this to be a very vulnerable episode.
The whole episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
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 Those are great.
Yeah.
I think this has been a vulnerable episode in a way.
Yeah.
Would you say?
We always go through.
We always get back to that hot flute that
Yeah.
Fortune got a hold
So
of.
we share.
Yeah.
Sharing is caring.
We share and share
We
alike.
share.
I really like the statistics thing.
That
Oh my
was
God,
Sitting
that
there
was
being
so
like,
funny.
well,
Wait, I'm the
one of us
one out of
must be.
1 out of 20.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
It's me. Oh,
It's
no.
me. Yeah, there's still not a ton of out people in my gay area, my hometown.
Do they have a parade?
Nope, they have a parade, but it's not a gay parade.
Oh,
they have
no
a
way.
Christmas parade.
Oh.
But there are more gays there than.
Well,
than
we'll
when I
wheel
was
our
growing
boob
up.
down there. We'll wheel our paper mache.
Can we do the Christmas parade with our
Yes,
boob?
our
With our
Vaseline.
gay boob.
Thank you so much for listening to the Handsome Pod.
Yeah, we hope this was a good kickoff to Pride Month.
Yeah.
I think it was. I think it was a really good kickoff to Pride Month.
If you're listening in a small town, get out to the parade. Seriously, good place to meet people.
I don't know if this will be announced yet, and if it's not announced yet, Thomas will cut it. But Jackson,
Fortune's pregnant.
Jackson and I have been asked to be Grand Marshals
No way.
of the Chicago Pride Parade.
Oh my God.
Yes.
That's a big honor.
And so we're pretty pumped because we met at Chicago Gay Pride
Oh, wow.
9 years ago.
How did you leave that till the end of the pod?
I know. I just now thought about
You
it.
met at Pride.
We
Wow,
met at Pride
okay.
9 years ago, Chicago Pride, and so they reached out. They said, we heard, y'all's story about your story, and we'd love for you both to be Grand
Aw,
Marshals.
That's really
And
nice.
I'll be filming, but I was like, I gotta do this.
Yeah.
And it'll land on our anniversary.
That is awesome.
So we're excited. I've never been a Grand Marshal of the old Gay Pride Parade.
What does that entail?
I think you sit on
Sit
a
in the front.
car like a princess.
Yes.
Like
Oh.
a gay princess.
Oh my God.
And I'm gonna work on my wave. I am gonna see if they'll give me one of those like karaoke speaker machines,
So you-
not to sing, like no Ferris Bueller, but I want to be able to be like, "What's up, everybody? You've listened to Handsome?" Like that.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of Ferris Bueller, that's
that's
him
Chicago.
doing that dance in the.
Shaking
I
it,
was like,
baby,
I
now.
want to be that guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
How
Now, I've been asked to be a Grand Marshal.
Oh yeah.
Yes, but it was for the Mardi Gras parade in my hometown. I'm not.
You didn't do it.
I,
though?
I haven't done it.
You gotta do
But
it.
your family.
and your family,
family?
your
You
get your
family's got to
family.
be on the parade with you.
My family, they've all been Grand Marshals and all
No
that.
way.
Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta do it in the hometown.
We'll see. I mean,
And-
it's no Chicago, This is
Well,
just small town
That's all right.
gumbo parade.
And I think next summer Pride, the Handsomes need a float.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
be so up for that. For
Where? Anywhere?
Where whoever reaches out.
Yeah.
Tokyo.
It's gonna be a
Pride.
bidding
Oh,
war.
Tokyo Pride. I would love to go to
It's gonna
Tokyo.
be a bidding
Too.
war. There's
Have
no
you been?
money.
Never.
Yeah, there's a bidding war for
Yeah, but there's no money involved. But
Yeah.
there will be a bidding war of whose parade
yeah,
will be
that's
in.
a good idea. And do we bring our people that were highly involved?
Yeah, why
Okay.
not?
And Thomas can be front and center.
Yeah,
Oh,
Thomas
yeah.
can throw out beads.
Yeah.
We can.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my God, I would love that.
Make him either. You can either wear a propeller hat or your little cowboy hat.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can wear your mustache.
What mustache?
Oh. And I'll wear something.
Oh, you should
I'll
wear,
wear the muscle tee.
your little lady outfit that you went and bought yourself at the
Oh
mall.
my God, yes.
I
Slick.
can't.
Yeah. Oh, I couldn't possibly.
Couldn't possibly.
Oh.
I
Slick
don't
your
want
hair
to turn
back.
all the men on, that are going to be seeing that.
People are driving off the road.
Well,
Is that a cliff in that hair?
Well, I'll be practicing my wave all month.
You can speaking of what to wear to Pride, you can check out handsomepod.com and there's some
Ooh.
cool merch on there that you got
For real though.
little
Yeah.
cowboy hats, you got a handsome muscle tees.
Yeah.
Send and teachers send us pictures of you.
Oh, that's what I was gonna
yes,
say.
at Pride
At the
parades.
parades.
Rocking
Yeah.
the handsome
Please.
merch.
Or anywhere.
Or anywhere, yeah.
Send post it, tag us. We'll repost some, and I'd love to see that. And when I'm in the car on that parade, I'd love to see some handsome.
Yeah, get out there on the
Tees.
streets.
Yeah.
Get out there in the streets and rock that handsome.
Yeah.
That's right.
What do you guys got coming up? Anything to
I
plug?
just have like my regular working out new shows or new material in Los Angeles at Largo and Dynasty Typewriter. And check out my special on Prime Video called Hello Again. Yeah, that's kind of it.
I got 4 casino shows, New Buffalo, Michigan, in a couple weeks. I got Atlantic City, New Jersey, Niagara Falls, New York, and Charlestown, West Virginia.
Niagara Falls is so fun.
Yeah,
Which you're on the American side?
American side.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. I'll wave at you from.
All right.
yeah. I'm just bumming around Toronto, and so I don't think I'm just getting ready to do this TV show. So I don't think I'm doing any shows at the moment. But stay tuned on Instagram and like and share the pod if you're enjoying it. Tell your friends. We want to keep growing it. We want it to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
That is, people are always like, wait, don't ever stop doing the show. The way to keep the show going is to click subscribe for the audio podcast. Head on over to YouTube, click subscribe.
Tell your pals.
Share episodes.
Yeah.
Share videos.
Tell
Get the
Lucy
word
Lawless
out.
though, Tig. Tell Lucy Lawless.
Oh,
That's on you.
I'm going to reach out to Lucy immediately.
Yes.
Lucy.
All that remains in that case is to remind everyone to
Keep
it handsome.
What a podcast.